Alrighty. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? My name is Ben and today we'll be getting into As I've Written, honkaistarrail. As you can see, very rare for this to happen. Both the kitty cats being silly boys and wanting to hang out on the desk. So, Jack's on the cat bed and Rio is on the blanket. Silly kitties. Hope they get along during the stream. It should only be about an hour, so hopefully they won't cause trouble with each other or be stinkers. They're sweet boys, just sometimes if one of them gets playful and the other doesn't want to play. Mostly Jack, since he's a younger kitty. But yeah, let's check out As I've Written and see the new sections for Danon, Permansor, Terre, and Evernight.
Oh, hey, this is Cyrene here. Hey, this is Cyrene here. Miss me yet? It's been a while. Now, what story should I tell you today? Got it. Let me tell you about my treasured memories of the Flame Chase journey.
Ooh. Download. A new app. Go view. Aw. Okay. Interesting. Made some letters just in case. If a successful flame chase, sender Cyrene, recipient, blank. This page of the story comes from the 4,048,128th eternal recurrence, an almost perfect flame chase journey. Imagine if the war to conquer the oceans had not failed, if the empress of the flame chase had not fallen, but instead achieved her grand ambition.
General.
Cheers and chatter ebbed and flowed throughout the tavern. The girl playing chess yawned and tossed the queen piece onto the board.
As agreed, 100,000 balance coins. Pay up.
No way! A little girl like you must be cheating! The candlelight flickers, casting the shadow of a towering opponent. In the corner, the musician stops playing the violin, revealing a subtle smile. Oh, Heiselland.
You seem unfamiliar with proper etiquette, sir. Fortunately, I know a thing or two about swordplay.
The sore loser roared in rage, snatched up a stool and lunged forward. In the ensuing chaos, bystanders who got caught in the crossfire joined the brawl with gleeful laughter. The musician weaved through the crowd like a predatory fish. Of course, no one was seriously hurt, as she didn't see any reason to use her real strength here. Only when the tavern floor was littered with bodies did the chess-playing girl finally emerge from behind the sofa, skipping merrily towards the counter.
Do you understand now? This here is the Princess of Sea Sirens, nemesis of the Black Tide, the bone-eating mega-shark, first musician of Inforius, and I am her loyal chess master. Now, prepare our rooms and meals.
The girl glanced from the corner of her eye at the news clipping posted on the counter, already yellowed with age. After all, it was from years ago. The headline was brief, to the point. The flame chase journey comes to a perfect close. Yes, we won that war called Flame Chase. The nobles pacified the roaring tide of the ocean, healed the scars of earth, followed by strife, death, sky. People united as never before, and the Council of Elders proclaimed that the perfect era Chrysae had returned once more. However, the Era Nova never came, and the Imperator, along with her loyal Gladius, vanished without a trace. No one knows where they are now.
Now that we've won all this travel money, where to next? I suggest Pavas. I heard they're starting up the Golden Apple beauty pageant again. Epos isn't bad either. With those majestic mountains, we should make it a point to conquer them every now and then.
The blue-haired girl brought over a basin of water, washed her hands, then sat down on a chair and broke a loaf of bread in half.
I want to take a break for a while.
The sea siren princess stroked the strings through her gloves.
I'm planning to write a book. I've already collected quite a few musical phrases. Looks like my days as a wandering chess master end here. I look forward to your melody, since you're a genuine princess as well as a fake bard.
Fire crackles and dances in the hearth.
The hostage's clothes remained unscathed. The golden trout's weaving workshop is a sight to behold, and the 4 dukes carry their duties with honor and revered by all. Yet you and I have kept our identities hidden, as if forgotten by the world. Which law did you modify back then to achieve such prosperity?
Fire crackles and dances in the hearth. The silence was only broken when another piece of bread was finished.
Like I said, all I want is fairness.
The girl leapt down from her chair. They
sacrificed for the flame chase, and now they each get their happiness. That's fairness. You once pledged loyalty to me, and now I serve as your follower. Isn't that fair, too? Yeah, that's fair.
The princess mumbled, slumped over the bed, her hair falling down.
Well then, my beloved highness, if you have no other commands, I actually have a question of my own. What question? This chair's too tall. I need a footstool.
Short Serja, never getting away from that. But that's a really cool, like, what if? Or, I guess, what did happen during one of the eternal recurrences. Almost perfect. Yeah, turning things on their head, switching things around. Serja living a humble life instead of grand ambitions. After, well, the flame chase succeeded. We won that war, but Aranova never came. Oh, that's really cool though, to get those interactions. Again, sort of a what if and AU situation. Breeze of Fleetfoot seizes gold. Probably Cypher and Aglaia. Sender Cyrene. Recipient blank. This page of the story comes from the 6,269,299th eternal recurrence, an unexpected inheritance of divine law, or a divine authority. Imagine if it were Zagreus, who received the divine authority of law. Divine authority of law, and the swift-footed feline, and thus ascended to the pinnacle of power. Yeah, and I'm guessing as well that these are also part of the stories, the letters. Sorry, hair's being real fun tonight. And part of it is definitely my headset, which is just, I've been keeping it together with wire. It just keeps breaking. I'm like, dang it. Fortunately, it's a quick fix. The Law Titan Talenton. But yeah, what I was saying is, I'm assuming these are things that happened with each Cyrene that came and gave her story to the tomb, the 13th Titan, Demiurge. The Law Titan Talenton happened to fall on the Spirit Day, and the Trickster Titan seized this opportunity to usurp divine authority. They proclaim their laws to the world. Gambling! Of course, that's what Cyphera would do.
A mortal wants to expand their territory, put power and land to the bet. A mortal seeking divine authority, go roll the dice with the gods.
And so the mountains, rivers, cities, and people of Amphorius all became mere stakes in the game. Overnight, countless aristocrats fell from grace, while nameless figures began to rise to prominence. Among them, the followers of Zagreus became the agents of the gods, acting with absolute impartiality and neutrality. The followers established gambling houses across different city-states, faithfully executing the law with the authority of the Titan. Among all followers of Zagreus, at the pinnacle stands the demigod, known as Wind of Dolos, Cyphera. Legend has it that Cyphera once gambled against Kefali and won everything they bore. After that, Akama became the world's largest gambling den. Countless gamblers climbed to Dawncloud with hope in their hearts, trying their luck at winning precious metals, jade, and territories, only to leave disappointed. Cyphera always has the last laugh. People took these words as gospel.
Cyphera always has the last laugh.
On that day, a little blonde girl in tattered clothes knocked on the door of the Dawn Cloud Casino. Yeah, the what if the situation was turned around, instead of Cypher coming to Aglaya.
Hey, Cyphera, wanna make a bet?
Despite her misfortune, the girl carried herself with extraordinary grace.
I am Aglaya, the last noble heir of Akama. I have come to reclaim everything that is rightfully mine from your hands.
A breeze swept by, and Aglaya knew the curious cat had perked up its ears. She pointed to the bath beside her.
The water here flows constantly. Let's make a bet about this outlet on whether the golden laurel leaf will float by within 30 seconds. I bet there will be.
A gentle breeze lifted the hem of Aglaya's tattered dress as a giggle was heard.
Then I bet it won't happen.
Neither had placed their wager, and Cyphera hadn't even shown up. Yet the gamble had already begun. The onlookers at the grand baths had held their breath in anticipation, while Aglaya slowly lowered herself to sit by the water, as if knowing exactly what was to come.
25 seconds, 24 seconds.
A golden laurel leaf appeared in the bath above the water outlet, spinning with the flow, as if still hesitating.
15 seconds.
The golden laurel leaf suddenly drifted downstream with the current, quickly approaching the water outlet.
5 seconds, 4 seconds.
A sudden gust of wind stirred up ripples, and the laurel leaf that was about to fall into the drain vanished into thin air before everyone's eyes. At the same time, Cyphera appeared in front of Aglaya with a playful smirk.
3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second.
Aglaya plucked off the golden laurel leaf on her head, the only valuable thing she carried, letting the water from the outlet wash it away.
0 seconds. I win.
Aglaya said with a straight face.
What's the point of winning a gamble with no stakes?
Cyphera didn't even bother pointing out the girls cheating. Quotations.
At least you showed up. Tell me, little girl with nothing to your name, what could you possibly bet against me? I'm not empty-handed. I can bet myself and what I want. In that same vein is you. Fair deal, wouldn't you say? Interesting. I have no reason to refuse, but before we start a proper gamble, you'll need to dress up properly. Tisk, tisk. Tisk, tisk. Came here barefoot. Here, take these boots. Consider them a welcome gift.
Then Cyphera scooped up the small girl like picking up a kitten and walked deeper into the baths. Aww. Again, the what if it was different, what if the roles were reversed. And the boots that were so special to Cypher from Aglaya, her gift. I was also going to comment on this one as well, hearing about the the fate of everyone once they left. Yeah, Trivios. Clothes remain unscathed. Aglaya's weaving workshop. The 4 dukes. They're so loyal to Seerdra. I assume in every single timeline they are. Or most of them at least. A constant presence on her journey. Oh, very interesting. My day. Or an Axa, since he has a gun. Gun time. Cash from Kremnos' Age of Firearms. This page of the story comes from the 8,128th Eternal Recurrence, wondrous exchange of lives. Imagine if the blonde crowned prince of Kremnos had become a sage of the grove, while the frail heretical scholar taking part in the Kremnos festival. That is very interesting. Mother, I've arrived at the Grove of Epiphany. All is well. Please do not worry. The blonde youth wrote a letter home after meticulously arranging his new living quarters. My fellow companions at the Grove have been very kind to me. However, there's one thing that puzzles me. People often say there are no words in Castrum Kremnos' dictionary. What's that all about? Also, there's a school in the Grove called Hokolithism that focuses on physical training. seeking to discover the self through muscle conditioning. I'm quite drawn to it. Of course you would be, my day.
My child, do you remember how my name comes from Gorgo, the first founder of the city? Legend has it that someone erected a monument in their name while they were still alive. When Gorgo discovered it, they personally erased all the text from the stone. The Kremnoans revere ancient customs, and since then, only blank stones could tell of great deeds. There's another theory. No descendant believed their achievements could surpass that founder, so none dared inscribe their own deeds. Over generations, they somehow evolved into Kremnoans being perceived as martial powerhouses who look down on the written word. That's also why I sent you to study at the Grove. I hope you will return to bring the winds of cultural revolution to Kremnos. As for which school to choose, Mother supports your decision.
His mother wrote back a long, flowing letter. The young man was lost in thought until a cold voice interrupted. Wrong. Only now do I understand. Having no words in their dictionaries, the Kremnoan's true foresight. Rigid text only holds back human progress. Naxa, what are you? Naxa, what are you? The blond youth recognized his classmate, a loner whom none of his companions had ever gotten his name right. Call me Anaxagoras, the green-haired youth sneered with displeasure. The young man tugged at his eye patch, his uncovered eye brimming with equal parts mockery, indignation, and arrogance, plus a hint of unfathomable depth. The truth is already in my grasp. Watch as I turn this decrepit world upside down. The blond youth unconsciously sized up those hands that held truth. By Kremnoan standards, with such feeble strength, one couldn't preach any truth to anyone. After all, truth only exists within punching distance. Hey, get closer so I can hit you. Mother, I've been pursuing my advancement under the Honkai school. Mother, I've been pursuing my advancement under the Honkai school. Something interesting happened recently. The Grove expelled a student who allegedly attempted to resurrect the dead through alchemy, violating the ban. I find it rather regrettable. P.S. I've attached a preliminary draft of the dictionary with this letter. Yeah, Anaxa trying to bring back his sister. Mother's reply came late.
My child, your father has recently restarted the Kremnos festival, but he still hasn't found a King's Aegis champion that satisfies him. I don't understand his intentions, but I can smell the fog of war in the air. I received the dictionary and it brings me joy. You know, I've never wanted you to become a puppet of strife.
A long time passed. Mother, the Council of Sages will nominate me as the Honkai Sage. I heard that my father, Yerepan the King, is gathering warriors to ignite the Chrysos War, raising arms against former allies. And will soon attack the Grove of Epiphany. I am deeply ashamed of this. The Council of Sages has decided to send a letter of peace negotiations. If he can survive the flames of war and reach my father's hands, I implore him to reconsider his military actions. There was no response to the letter. When the Kremnos army finally arrived at the gates, my Deimos, the Honkai sage, led his fellow scholars to defend against an enemy. At last, he saw with his own eyes the new King's Aegis, leading the army, a man with green hair and an eye patch. Though dressed as a Kremnos warrior, my Deimos recognized him instantly, his former classmate, Anaxagoras. How? The blond man was filled with confusion. Was he the one who won the Kremnos festival? With such a frail physique, has Kremnos really fallen this far? As if hearing his thoughts, the green-haired man twirled his gun while letting out a maniacal laugh. Alchemy has brought Castrum Kremnos into the age of firearms. Now, let's show those... Alchemy has brought Castrum Kremnos into the age of firearms. Now, let's show these old fogies what the king's one-turn kill school is made of. One-turn kill. Even referencing, you could say, the turn-based nature of honkaistarrail. How did I do on the laugh? I don't think I did maniacal enough. Maybe that's a little bit better. But again, loving these what if scenarios we're getting. What if my day was a sage? And also, what if his mother and father were alive still? And what if his father hadn't had that prophecy told to him, hadn't reacted that way? It's very interesting. Okay, Day Thunder Night, Vanquisher of Tyranny and Chaos. Aw. Yeah. I wonder who will switch with her place. Will it be Hyacinth? This page of the story comes from the 18,250,000th and first, eternal recurrence. A chance encounter between two solitudes. Imagine if Celios, who had Himiko as her VA, the exiled Day Thunder Knight, had met not the innocent winged beasts in the wasteland, but rather the Dromus King who had walked among humans for 100 years. Oh, so Terravox and Celios switching places. Oh, well, not switching places, but yeah, instead of finding her two little beasts, she maybe is blessed by the wisdom of Terravox. Years later, as she watched Hyacinth, the Chrysos heir, ascend to the heavens, Celios the Day Thunder, Dromus Knight, would remember the moment when she was exiled to the surface by her people and her encounter with that walking mountain. At that time, Terravox, the Dromus King, had been wandering alone in the mortal realm for nearly a century. It silently watched over the myriad lives during the Chrysos War, occasionally witnessing spectacular sights, like when the radiance of the Lance of Fury struck down a floating fortress, raising waves of dust that engulfed buildings. And of course she was banished from there, so she could only watch it fall. Oh, or she fell with it. However, on that day, a young girl stumbled out of another fallen fortress. Her short jacket was soaked in blood, yet before losing consciousness, she managed to raise her broken blade with trembling hands at the approaching Dromus. Perhaps it was loneliness, perhaps it was the determination in the girl's eyes, or perhaps the sight of a life perishing like this was too much. Terravox took in the girl named Celios. Yeah, he does care for all life that walks upon the earth, after all. Celios was a girl of few words. The only hobby she had was to hone her skills. Among all the Chrysos heirs that Terravox had encountered, none possessed such extraordinary talent as Celios. Years later, when Terravox sparred with Celios, found themselves evenly matched, the beast realized that this sky folk with golden blood would surely leave her mark in history. However, seeing the stubborn determination buried deep in Celios' eyes, Terravox began to worry that this exceptional power might bring her not only glory, but perhaps even greater tragedy. As we saw in the story, her choices. One night, Celios sat atop Terravox's head, quietly gazing at the moon that flickered in and out of the clouds, and the floating fortress that appeared as tiny as an ant. After a long silence, Terravox finally spoke.
Grumph, we've journeyed together for so long, yet we've never truly had a heart-to-heart. Celios, I wish to know your aspirations.
The girl tightened her grip on the short blade.
I have witnessed hearts fall into the abyss of evil because of absurd beliefs. One day, I will return to the Fortress of Dome, kill Aquila, and set humanity free.
Would killing a god be all that takes to set humanity free?
The girl remained quiet, her stubbornness filling the silence.
Celios, you've only met those who worship the sky. but I've been to hundreds of city-states. I've witnessed lands of death where entire cities voluntarily set themselves aflame. And I've seen city-states that also worship death, practicing austere penance in the ice and snow.
Each has their own beliefs.
That all the more proves they're all prisoners of the Titans.
If you were like me,
Yeah, I want to add a little more rumble.
if you were like me, born of the bosom of the Titans, you would understand that Titans are more pure-hearted than humans. They hold neither preference nor hatred for their creations. They have long since handed over the power to choose our destiny to us.
Easy for you to say. What am I supposed to do?
Look, kid, I've told you, the choice is in your hands.
Dark clouds obscure the moon. Yeah, you just have to have so much air and water for that voice. Obscure the moon, and the floating fortress suddenly vanished, as if it too were terrified of that shadowy presence, the black tide. Then, as the clouds retreated, the fortress was nowhere to be found, while the moon remained unchanged, shining even brighter in the girl's eyes.
Terravox, I've made up my mind. I want to go down to the mortal realm, just like you. I'll save humanity the human way, and until then, let the Eye of Twilight cling to life a while longer.
The Dromus King responded with a gentle growl. Years later, a warrior goddess emerged in Amphorius. Her name was Celios, said to be a descendant of both the Sunfolk and Rainfolk. Not only did she possess the strength of 10,000 men, but she was also accompanied by a Dromus as indomitable as a mountain. That's just so cool to envision, to imagine. People regarded her with reverence, bestowing upon her the title Day Thunder Dromus Knight. Around light calendar 3920, the Day Thunder Dromus Knight met with the Imperator in Akama, where she stayed for several days before joining the Flame Chase journey as an auxiliary force. In light calendar 3957, Terravox, the Day Thunder Dromus Knight's most important companion, fell in battle during the battle against Giorios, the Earth Titan. In light calendar 3960, the Flame Chase army achieved a costly victory in the expedition against the ocean, with only Celios returning alive. The Council of Elders claimed that Celios had killed the Imperator and others in an attempt to seize power. She gave no response to this, but swiftly purged the Council with lightning-fast brutality. She then supported Aglaya's rise to power in Akama, where humanity ruled itself. Yeah, because of course if she witnessed what happened with Sierja's choice, and Hycelin's as well, then and she's kind of like, what can she say? She just comes back, goes, no, Aglaya is worthy, puts her in place, puts her in power, and then continues on. Though not a demigod, Celios had lived for nearly 1,000 years. Rumors said her old friend Terravox shared their lifespan with her. Yet unknown to all, after watching the young Chrysos heir named Hyacinth send the Rainbow Bridge to the sky, the Day Thunder Dromus Knight, who'd fought all her life, passed away while standing atop Dawn Cloud. Poetic. That's what you can say from that tale, that story. I really love these letters, these what-ifs, these moments we had never seen of how other recurrences had gone. That's really cool to see. That's really neat that they also updated and added an entirely new section. Load. Oh, and that takes us directly there. Let me read that off, actually. I didn't read it off beforehand. I read it, but not out loud. So let me quickly do that, and then we'll continue onward. Yeah. Saga of Heroes and EXE we'll check out, since I am trying to catch up. After witnessing Amphorius' adventure, insert the one nameless recollection you obtained. Got it. How are the kitty cats doing back there? Aw, you silly boys, all curled up. I'm glad they're being very good, they're being very sweet. I'm very glad they're getting along. They're amicable with each other most of the time, but, well, sometimes there'll be pills to each other. Okay, yeah, let's go over this first, and then we'll do the Chrysos heirs next. Update the info on Iron Tomb. The Lord Ravager that stepped into the destruction along. The Lord Ravager that stepped. The Lord Ravager that stepped onto the destruction in a long process of calculation and ascended from the scepter. Fucking always forget how to say the scepter's name. But 13. The Iron Tomb in the cosmos is not a single entity, but a copy of the destruction equation diffused by the scepter. The Iron Tomb Code was proposed by the Interastral Peace Corporation and eventually used by Lygus. The Iron Tomb Code name, I should say. When the extrapolation reaches its end, Iron Tomb will descend upon the universe in the form of a headless giant and perform a self-coronation, tracing the path energy of erudition, connecting to news, and transforming their calculations into destruction. Yeah, that is his hope, replacing their false head, Iron Tomb's false head, with noose. Containment measures. Admin note, to ensure secrecy, Stellaron contamination must be deployed around the scepter to block any potential interference from the external universe. In addition, so this would be Lygus's note. Admin note, to ensure secrecy, Stellaron contamination must be deployed around the scepter to block any potential interference from the external universe. In addition, use Quatorzane algebraic expressions and a Memoria encrypted environment to fully contain experimental ripples and prevent observations by number 4, Polka Kakamond. So, if you had questions why she had not shown up to deal with Lygus yet, to deal with Xandar, that's why knew how to hide himself well from her. Which that makes sense, because otherwise this wouldn't have become a problem in the first place. She just would have taken him out. So even Lygus fears her. Okay, what else? What else is new? Progress, Aranova, Titans and Chrysos heirs. Electrical signals created from the basis of the 12 factors. The Titans and the Chrysos heirs are conjugate structures mirroring the Aeons and the past riders. By having Chrysos heirs inheriting the Titan's core flames, the electrical signals will iterate and improve through rivalry and inheritance. Logic, authority distribution between electrical signals must be clearly defined, serving as divine authority in the experiment. Get some water. Lygus's voice is also quite tiring. Record update. Destructive actions carried out by a specific electrical signal via the power of the path of destruction will result in a logical loophole in the corresponding path. This phenomenon is consistent with the iterative process. When a logical loophole occurs, a data signal that meets the experimental conditions can serve as a substitute. This process is independent of the inheritance of the Titans / Chrysos heirs. Talk about fight on, using the destruction against Iron Tomb. Got a few more logs. Nakos, yeah. Updated hatred. I'm trying to see, because they add the little bits here and there, but the full one usually isn't updated. So merge with, yeah, so this is the new part right here. In the 33,550,337th recursive cycle, in response to external stimuli, it used the power of destruction to destroy coordinate grove of epiphany and cause the great tomb of the nameless titan to manifest. Yep. When Don Hung met up with Phidon, convinced him. Elios 252 Sky Prima Mobile Devotion. So that would be, if we are talking about Sky, that would be Hyacin. Note, behavioral logic, highly altruistic, lacks overload protection. This electrical signal tends to identify with survival environments and actively responds to collective crises similar to the preservation. In most recursive loop processes, tends toward severe damage. Hapilotes 405 Concord track passage. So Hapilotes passage. Yeah, so passage would be Tribios. Concord. Note, multi-track calculations performed consecutively for a single purpose. Under the influence of Prima Mobile, the electrical signal automatically splits during its initial phase, with multiple copies exhibiting behavioral patterns similar to the harmony through mutual understanding, support, and coordination for a common purpose. Behavioral generation latency is extremely low. Generation latency. Yeah, so the split of Tribios into all the clones, as it's been put as well. Earth, Terravox, Survival, Georios. Note, decision-making patterns show high stability, with species continuation as a primary objective. Special electrical signals, influenced by extrapolation targets, manifest as saurian dragon-like beasts, highly tolerant and adaptable to destructive stimuli. Their behavior achieving species continuation simulates the path of permanence. Yeah, path of permanence. Well, understand the similarities and why so desperate for Don Hong's power. Anomaly log. Forgotten years. Yeah. Many variables, March 7th, Evernight. So that was all former info. Here's the new one. In the 33,550,337th recursive cycle, all lost records have returned, thanks to Trailblazer's upload action at the Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan. So, can Iron Tomb remember all of it? And is that how Cyrene, Big Cyrene, is formed? I think this is entirely new, so we'll read it off. Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan. The abandoned kernel layer manifested due to the influence of the remembrance referred to as Great Tomb of the Nameless Titan by Evernight, Demiurge, Stellaron. Administrators deleted related records. I think Lygus is still afraid. variable March 7th and Evernight infiltrated the scepter. Through this route, access records have been deleted. Yeah, and mentioning the Stellaron more and more. You know, with each world we go to, there's always a Stellaron in some way. And with Amphorius, it's been very covered up, unknown where exactly this influence is and coming from. I would assume either the Demiurge is the Stellaron, or was influenced by the Stellaron, or maybe a Stellaron in of itself is what Lygus has been doing or using to influence the scepter, yeah, to go down the path of destruction. Saying something else is new. What else is? Am I missing something? I don't know. That's weird. Okay. Trojan variables? Yep, Trailblazer. So this one should all be new. In the 33,550,337th recursive cycle, this entity assumed the vacant world-bearing track. At one point, this entity was imprisoned by Evernight, but successfully neutralized the threat at the end of the recursive cycle, preventing the catastrophic purging of experimental data.
Executing override command. Granted access to Trailblazer. I'll be waiting for you in the past.
Cyrene. Evernight. Anomalous. Yeah. Some crazy stuff. So this should all be new. In the 33,550,337th recursive loop, she took over the vacant time path, secretly manipulating the Titan and guiding Trailblazer's group to advance Era Nova. Speculated objective: interfere with Era Nova's progress, clear scepter data, terminate the experiment. At the end of the loop, she voluntarily entered slumber, enabling March 7th to complete Time's trial, reclaiming the future. And a note from Evernight. Yeah, foiled by Seirja's thinking. And yeah, just slumbering away, still inside of March. Can come out whenever needed.
Note, oblivion does not mean betrayal. It is the final protection.
For March. Yeah, everything for her. Dawn Hung. In the 33,550,337th recursive loop, he took over the nearly sealed path of Earth. As a fellow pathstrider of permanence, they resonated with Scopio 365, the number of days in a year, embracing Earth. Embracing approximately 2.16 million data lifeforms within the core flame, completing the trial of Earth. Taking on all those lives upon himself. Electronic signals hostile behaviors. You don't say. Hubris. 504. Yep, I think we got this before. Yes, that's old. This should be new. Subsequently, Sierra rewrote the ultimate protocol at the cost of ceasing to respond itself. If the Era Nova progress becomes abnormal, ignore all variables, terminate extrapolation, and wait for Iron Tomb to form. Additionally, temporarily grant access permissions to Herta and Screw. Traceable, briefly detected, concealed by Evernight. Okay. steps to these last three then. And then we'll get to the as I've written for the Chrysosaurs. During the final phase of this recursive loop, TerraVox was briefly detected. In theory, its data was concealed by Evernight, though Kaslana's indiscriminate assault on the Grove. TerraVox managed to destroy itself via the destruction, created a logic anomaly in the Earth tracks through Kaslana. When the TerraVox vanished, its core flame contained signal patterns of 2.16 million organic entities. And we even saw that throughout Amphorius's tests, loops that Lycus put it under. Inorganic first, and then organic eventually. Yep, our boy Finon, doing his best. Yeah, again, that was what we read, what we had before in 3.5, going over the 1,000-year history we missed. In light calendar 4253, Castris ascended to demigod. Its mobility permissions were removed and became fused with coordinate nether realm. At the end of that recursive loop, Castris, through her resonance with destruction, perceived the lost trailblazer during her slumber and shielded their memories from the erosion of the data stream. Yep, Cass doing everything she can as well. Yeah, and every single Chrysosaur having that link to destruction because of Iron Tomb. Here we go. Yep. So, we had up until here the new stuff we got, like with reason. Cersei. During the final phase of that recursive loop, an Exagoras was detected hiding within Lycos' data entity. Shortly after, an Exagoras' electrical signals were analyzed and stripped by Lycos and have now been reloaded into the buffer. Stripped and reloaded. Again, doing his part, doing his best, every single one of them. Yeah, her dormancy until she's woken up. Exactly. In the final phase of that recursive loop, Electra remained in the world, turbulent with Memoria, to guide Don Hung on his return to Amphorius. Yep, showing up the ghosties, helping out along the way. But yeah, her stalling, keeping Legus trapped. And the final one, no administrator response.
Unknown unit, Evernight, retrieval anomaly, coordinate grove of epiphany, path chart, anomalous, initiating priority scan. Hypothesis, unknown unit possesses unauthorized access, high level data erasure. Warning, related records undergoing unauthorized deletion. ID, Lycos has been warned. Administrator not responding. Unknown unit untraceable. Anomalous data record restored.
Yeah, Evernight's still so mysterious. It could be that she's tied to the Enigmata, the unknown, if, remembrance. Or you could even say, if remembrance is the known in history, and the Enigmata, kind of the opposite of that. History, fictionologist, so to say. Gallagher. Who knows? Mythos. It's very interesting to dive into exactly what Evernight is, her mirror image of March, a pure child of is it Ostrana? It's again It's always on the tip of my tongue, but I always feel like I get it slightly wrong. Or maybe it's Asvrana? It's very similar to that. Let me quickly check so I make sure. Pure child. That doesn't seem right. Of Anasrava, yeah. So I was close. Pure child of Anasrava, which, oh man, those hints, those teases of other marches, of sisters to march, I should say, similar to Cyrene, it seems, being out there, and maybe even one being within the garden, looking for her sisters. These fragments of the remembrance of Fuli, and perhaps that Fuli has shattered to die in the past, so only being kept alive through remembrance. All very interesting, fun things to dive into.
Unknown entity. Evernight. Scan anomaly detected. Path energy showing dangerous fluctuations. According to the new clause in Ultimate Protocol, if this unknown entity remains active, the system will determine Irinoa's progress as anomalous and initiate the Scepter's full-range purge program. Warning issued to ID Lycos. Administrator not responding.
Even then, he still can't do anything. Hey Sparkle, how you doing? Been a while, finally got your stream. Hey, welcome back. Yeah, and you showed up to a special one as well. Both the kitties are on the bed behind me. Well, bed and blanket. Rio and Jack. They don't often hang out like that. Well, not in that specific spot. I figured it would be too cramped for them, but they're doing all good. They just are in depression right now. No, don't worry. It's Aranova. It's gonna be happy. We just got the live stream today, which was crazy seeing Cyrene. It's only studying here, sadly. Aw. I'm sorry about that, Sparkle. Hopefully, yeah, the kitties. They're being very adorable tonight. They're being good boys. But yeah, Cyrene's animations and her design look so good. I can't wait for 3.7. I'm really hoping we finally forge a happy ending for Amphorius after all this time. Ooh, updates to a lot of Chrysosairs. Cool. So, we'll have a bit to go through still. But yeah, I hope your studying's going well at least. That's going all right. And well, you can always put on videos or something similar like this in the background to listen to stave off boredom or to help concentrate. I know I go throughout all my days listening to stuff just because it helps tire my brain out when I need to go to bed. Midterms are coming up, or upcoming week. Study physics and computer first. Tomorrow chemistry. Got it. Study load is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you for being a little stressed out over that. Upcoming week. Ooh, that means you might be able to, I think that means you'll have your exams before 3.7 in starrail. So, hey, that means right after you finish up a stressful week, you should have a bit of a more chill week and can check out the news story. 6 periods of chemistry once. 1 period is 55 minutes. Oh, yeah, that's rough. That's not fun. Yeah, 6 hours of chemistry. Sounds like a nightmare. It's just anything for that amount of time for schooling. You're like, can we do something else, please? Yeah, let's dive in numerically. Wrap up some of the previous Chrysosairs before we get to Dawnhong. Terravox. Permansor Terre and Evernight. Every free period equal chemistry for us, lol. Aw, man, that sounds terrible. You're like, oh, my free period gone down the drain. Yeah. No, free periods are absolutely one of the highlights of school, just because you're like, I can get things done if I need to, or I can relax for a bit if I need to as well. Famous joke, maths teacher comes every free period. For us, it's chemistry. That's funny. Yeah. No, you silly cats. Imperator's Starlit Dream.
勝つのは果たしてどちらだろうか。
Okay.
知恵
Yeah,
の
let's
愛
not turn
用
on
の
auto
狂った
quite
信
yet.
者か。
P doesn't exist in my school,
天
nor
を
any
勝る
clubs.
謀略の君主か。
So you don't even get like a physical break, really. I mean, I'm sure like you stand up and like stretch, walk around a little bit if you need to. But yeah. Who will win? The fanatical followers of the Aeon of Erudition, or the audacious plots of the monarch playing against
研
heaven.
究の森に住む猿と移住。
Tavi search force monkey
鋼の
creatures,
大群。
steel
果ては
soldiers,
心霊感の
Theorios'
傲慢なる面影
visage,
までも
chessboard all faded to know.
盤上で無に帰した。
Since our class teacher is chemistry, do walk around during the 10-minute recess we get. 10 minutes? Honestly, they should give you more. Like, speaking just like, you know, having to sit down sometimes to stream for a while with one of the cats on my lap, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could take like a 5-minute break every 2 hours. Only have 2 recess and 1 30-minute lunch break. Yeah, I feel like, honestly, the classes are already like an hour long for a period, basically. They should give you like 5 minutes at least, you know, for each hour to, again, just stand up, socialize, chat a little bit, get somewhat of a break for your brain.
Name of Emporius, grant freedom to blind faith.
王は無期の玉座を前に
Stood before the
Scepter.
inorganic throne,
皇帝のうつろの
scepter
瞳
in
に
the
突き
emperor's
刺す。
vacant gaze.
いずれ天
God
外の神
beyond
々
shall
も
crumble.
タイタンのように隠
Swears
諾
to
してい
seize
く
the
だろう。
glory.
必ずや正解を我が
Conquering
小中
stars.
に。
Still very
と彼
Warhammer,
女は誓
very
う。
Emperor of Mankind, pilled of her. Especially since our school is 8 hours. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it's like 8 hours is pretty normal for school length, but I do think just having having more breaks in between should be implemented for sure. I mean, ours, yeah, really was only between classes. I guess that was our exercise, or that was our stretch. Was you know, you get up, you walk to your next class in like 5 to 10 minutes, and then get ready to go.
勝つのは果たしてどちらだろうか。
Who will win?
豊穣の愛王に仕え
Immortal
る
faithful,
不死なる信者が
Aeon of abundance.
はたまた指先に烈
Sword is
風をまと
dancing
う
between the
差し手
chess
か。
master's fingertips. Like as she encounters each danger. So, Shenjo Lafu. Yep, lol. Having tuition for 2 hours after that is, oh man. So essentially 10 hours instead of 8. Yeah. Yes, talk to my friends in the class next to ours. That's good at least. That you're getting, again, just anything you can do to get a break from just having to focus that hard. Because sometimes if it gets too much, you just zone out and you just can't absorb anymore. So it's like, no, take a break, chat about something inconsequential, and then keep going after that.
ポーンは飛鳥を射落として
Pawns slay the
ナイトは
birds,
軍狼を蹴
horses
散らした。
trample the wolves,
デュ
chariots
ークは
smash the
巨木を
trees,
引き砕き、
queen severs
ク
the
イ
head
ーン
of
は呪音を
pestilence.
切り伏せた。
Oh, Jack Jack.
Name of Emporius, grant immortality eternal rest.
Going on a killing
先
spree
週
against
の
all these
送った
Aeons.
爽快を王は忠実な剣
Yeah,
気
her
の
way of
玉。
conquering is by resolving their
常に
problems.
物憂い剣の
Yeah,
顔さ
lol.
え
Sunday
この
class
時かすかに
lasts
心
for
が
8 hours for entrance. Oh man. Every second and fourth Sunday too. Darn. Yeah, I hope after midterms that it chills, that everything comes back down to not being just so much time and stress on you. I truly hope that. You know, And you've done great during your previous exams, so I'm sure you'll do great again. But you always get worried about it. Shinjo lays forth the ocean's tribute. Monarch grants her loyal Gladius. Night's sorrow-marked visage appears a smile. Her promise to Hycelins. After midterms, actual half-early terms. Oh, okay. Got it. So, just throwing more at you then. I hope so, lol. 11th grade is a big jump from 10th. Yeah, I remember that. You were saying all that stress, everything being put on you. Yeah, hopefully though, what I'm hoping for you is that 11th will be your hardest year, so then 12th, you'll be able to take things a little bit easier. That's definitely what I did, since I, had wrapped up basically all the classes that I needed to do. So I just did ones I wanted to do, and had a few free periods in the second half of the year. Who will win? Raging waves on the Aeon of Destruction. Going after Destruction next. Abundance Destruction. Who after that? Hope so too. Yeah. No. Like I said, I know you always do great, so I'll continue to have that faith in you. That, no matter what, you'll do pretty good on it. Monarch of power that swallows the stars. Neither monarch. Subject faltered. Their golden blood, lifeblood of the gods. Here the 11th grade marks basically decide 12th marks as well. Final marks are both combined. Well, yeah, I get why you're under all that stress for 11th then, but like I said, every time you come in, you go, I did good. I did better than, most of the class. And it's like, hey, there you go. So, I'm sure everything will turn out great. And, kind of like what you were saying there. If it influences it so much, then your great year here will mean, well, you'll still have to study. Maybe you can take things a little bit easier.
Name of Inforius, grant destruction to the destruction.
Splits the flames of annihilation. Drink deep of the golden blood, the blemished one. Slain the wellspring of tragedy. Usurping destiny's crown. What Zzzero would do, she could go beyond Inforius. By the distinct gods beyond the sky, or the core flame. The Aeons, or Zzzero, the fury of the stars. Sees back the splendor of old. Aw, you guys.
Name of Inforius.
What's her final line going to be? This time I did get low marks. My quarterly exams, so got only 6 in class out of 60. Gotta be at least in the 90% score. Only had 87%. I mean, that's still very, very good. Like, I know for myself whenever I did some of the more serious exams, if I got like 90% or above in something, I would be very happy. Occasionally, super high up there, and I would be like, oh, yippee, I did well. No. But again, you're already so close. That's only 3% off. That's still like, you're doing great. So, still have that belief in you. Failure at Asian standards. Of course, yeah, different households, different people, yeah, uphold different levels of quality that they want you to reach. But still, again, I think to most people in America or Europe or anything like that, I think they would go like, "You're doing crazy good." Most proud moment was getting 57 out of 60 in physics. Hey, nice job. So you're number 3 then, right? Or number 4? Number 3 or number 4? Yeah. No. I mean, you're doing so good. Every single time you're coming in. Just, like I said, doing better and better. Or hopefully having a break from all the studying. Familiar epitaphs. Master of the infinite cosmos. Edict high. Boundless, ceaseless realm. There it is.
Conquer the heavens. All stars shall submit.
Her grand ambition. 6th. I'm 6th in class. Yeah. Well, you're saying right now you're 6th, but class is full of smart kids. High school's been a good 98%. Damn. Yeah, nearly perfect then. Yeah, but in physics specifically, you did really, really good. So, we're super high up there. But still, again, like I said, I think top 10 to a lot of people would be like, man, you're doing amazing. Like, of course, always try to do better, but don't cause it, don't have it be too much stress. Tosses her final pawn. Previous delusions withering away. Formations are purely imaginary. Glimpse of rust looming. The night before the monarch faced fate, left behind a grand dream of conquering the stars, become but a humble pawn. Grand illusion retains a sliver of truth. So yeah, she's like, if I were to conquer the stars, this is how I'd go about it. In physics, like 3rd or 4th. Since many did have full marks. Yeah. Do love physics more than chemistry. I do kind of agree with you there. I think physics is just easier to like visualize. You're kind of like, oh, this makes sense. Because you can translate it a lot more easily to an action that you can replicate or see. With chemistry, it's like, I have to write these numbers and letters down on a page and hope that they match up. The lab experiments were always very fun for both classes, I will say.
Nearing its conclusion, in the distant future,
Raging and burning ambition, 13 million creations, Purtor's realm, her citizens. Who will win?
I will win, and Forius will win.
There you go. That's the right mindset. And that's wrapping up Sierra. Damn. Yeah, it's such a complex character for people to think about and react to her actions. Like I've said before, she definitely could have gone about things a little bit better, been a bit more open to the people who gave everything to her, but ultimately she's doing what she thinks is best for her world, her people. Can't blame her for that. Okay, let's go for Iceland's. Yeah, wrapping up hers. Hearty Cadenza. He held the monarch's gifts. Demigod's destiny. Grosnir. Reason liked physics more, has less theory, more application questions, and maths and problems. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. I do feel like chemistry was more memorization than problem solving. Like there was occasionally like, if you had this element plus this element, or you're trying to do this chemical, but overall physics is a lot more like, okay, here's here's the numbers. If you know the equation to get the numbers, It's not too bad. Don't like memorizing things that much. Yeah, chemistry is huge on that. Like I said, we had a test where you had to memorize and perfectly ace it to pass. And if you didn't, you just had to keep repeating it over and over again. That was not a fun one. Not at all. Because yeah, you'd make one tiny mistake out of like 30 questions and go like, back to doing it again. And it would always be something like, oh, one of the letters was not uppercase or lowercase, or the number was in a slightly wrong spot, and you're like, okay, cool. Her requiem draws near. When we found her, hibernating down below, sliver of light, a blazing ray, making urge chase the light. Drifts toward the beach. Alright, got to go. Go study Newton's laws of motion. Hey. Well, I'm gonna wish you your best yet again on your studying, on your exams, to continue doing as well as you have in the past, and hope next time I hear back from you. It's all good news, and that you've finally got a break to relax after all of these trials and tribulations. So, thanks so much, Sparkle, for coming on by. Hope you have a great day. Studying goes well, all that. See you next time. Bye-bye! Yeah, the cats won't say bye. They're totally out of it. I'm glad they're very relaxed. They got their shots earlier this week, a renewal on them, so that was pretty rough. They've been very sleepy, but I'm glad they're doing well. No other adverse effects. 1,000 years pass. Let's swim to the shore. That's with the princess. Her final rest. She leapt free from the water. The waves stirred by peals of laughter. Mirages of her friends shimmered and faded. Songs of joy rang out. Dux fragoris, ice the drums flink. Dux brumalis, kiss an icy chalice. Dux locomoletus, brimmed her vessel. Dux carminum, the four dukes. Man, they were so cool. I really do love that we got the story with them. I got to get connected to them a bit, and actually get sad and understand the feeling of betrayal from Iceland's at Sierra's actions. Arrived, our belated musician. Glad. Arrived, our belated musician. Silver gills hung in the air. Beautiful outfits for her. Sips the gift that does not exist. Salty water wets her new attire. Tears. This is not reality. The world she loves. Foam in the sea of stars. The truth of Inforius. At least for now. Drink down the aurora lights in the cup. Flew from her fingers. Music and song. And probably about another half hour to get through the rest of the Kaisosaires. Then we'll wrap up for tonight. Drunkenness granted by her mother. Dream granted by that drunkenness. Feast granted by that dream. I too shall have my fill of feasts. Sober begins one last song. Musician plucks her strings. Musician plucks her strings. The waltzing hand, revealing memories. Once awakened Titan, Princess accompanied the Queen. Covered in dashing monarch, loyal knights. Oh, admiration for
彼女は歌う
Zzzero.
体毛を抱いて野心に燃える
All of her
かの
happy
君主
times.
をカイザーに従い荘厳なる都市国家をその手に収めた日のことを彼女は歌う訪れるであろう天命を背負う者を半神たちが英雄を待つため背負い続けた1000年を
That little gray fry.
彼女は
Her
歌う
nickname for us.
灰色の
The
小魚の
gladius
ことを
defended the
救
deliverer.
世主のため世を滅ぼす死を止めた剣気がいた過去
Apocalypse's storms.
彼女は歌う己
Sing for
の一
herself.
生を
Yeah, there we go.
誰かを待ち続けた杯は
Banish nihility.
魚の骨でできていた
Her path. The honey brew fate
未
for
知たる
her.
虚無を空にして運命の
And
命
she
令を
mentioned
なみな
feeling
み
it,
と継いでく
feeling
れ
it
る誰
creeping
か
up
を
on her.
待っていた彼女は歌った
Her voice
喉
turned,
から声が
turned
枯れる
hoarse.
まで
Hey, I get that, Hysolence.
胸に
Some
抱
of
い
the
た冷
streams I
静が
do, where my throat's just
ついに枯れ
totally
る
cooked by the end.
その時まで
How it was no more.
継がれた命令は飲み干され
Honey brew ran out.
戦術は今や
Feast of
砕け散
fantasy
り
shattered.
共演の幻も
One
崩
final
れ去る
smile, then faded.
静まり返る海岸
So
で
that's
泡
what
となって
happened
消える前
In this last cycle,
彼女は静かに演んでいた
Toshi assisted with Donong's
天
journey.
外の魚たちよ
Fish from
私
beyond
た
the
ちは
sky
過去へと
shall
沈みゆ
sink
く
into the past.
それは洞窟の外に広がる空を見たからだ
Yeah, fuck you,
約束
Lycus
され
and
た
your
未
cave
来を信
allegory.
じ
Believe the
儚く
promised future.
そして確
Hope
かな
as a
希望
fragile
を抱いたのだ
pessimist. Hope as fragile pessimist.
どうか新たな太陽を
Carry the
携
new
え
sun. Swim toward the distant
て遥
horizon.
か彼方まで泳いでくれ
Concluded. Filled out for Electra, Hysolence. Her true name. Oh boy. Okay, chat. Evernight and Donong. Here we go. Yeah, we got a few of theirs before, so I'm guessing 3 for each. Let's quickly check. Yeah, 3 for each. Shenjo notes. Oh, so her memories during March's journey. The planets we
オン
visited.
パラスに行く前に最後に行った場所は炭鉱の故郷泉州ってとこ
March narrating.
Donahong's homeland,
先週
Shinjo.
はあくまで総称だ。あの青函はラフというのが正しい。
Dang it. Now I need to get into my Donong voice. Just a general term, starship is called the Lafu.
うちはそこで楽しい剣の修行をしてたそういえば
Wonderful times
弓矢
there.
と剣ってどっちが
Which is
強いんだ
stronger,
ろう
the bow or the
剣
sword?
の方
Why
が
not
強いと思う山を真っ二つに切れるからな
元気を見るの
Yeah,
はいい
I'd say
が
the sword.
ほどほどにな。
Leave a mountain in half.
とにかくうちは
Watching
弓以外の武器を
too
学
many
ぶた
immersion.
めに必死に修行
Working my butt off,
俺
avoid
と
using
一
the
緒
bow.
に武器マスターになろう
Become weapon masters together. Ah, the crew.
技を習おうと思ったら
We want
誰
together.
かに教えてもらわないとね
First find a
だから
mentor.
うちは二人の師匠に
Two
弟
of
子入り
them.
したんだ
Yeah, you did.
走り込みもやったし負荷トレーニングもやった
Run laps,
両方
lift
やる日もあ
weights,
ったよね
both at the same time.
今思い出すとすっごく充実した日
Days
々だ
were
った
really
って感じがする
fulfilling.
No
大
pain, no
変だっ
gain.
たけど
No gain.
楽しかったな
There. Can tell I'm getting a little tired
剣
after
の修行の
2
合間
long
に
nights.
金人口の屋台で美味しいもの食べて
Sword practice
エネルギー補
sessions.
給したりし
Hit
た
up the food stalls.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious
鏡のり
eats.
串は雲理師匠のお墨付きってだけあって
Yep,
本
Yanshin and
当に美
Yumi.
味しかった
Your 2 masters.
Berry pheasant skewers.
Like your trailer. Berry pheasant skewers.
そしてついにうちはたくさんの強敵を打ち負かしたん
Genuine.
だ毎
Teasing
日
her.
早起きして頑張った甲斐があったよ
Hard work pays off. Crack of dawn every day. Countless
なの
formidable
が確か
foes.
に大量の木人島を
March
倒し
really
た
did
こと
defeat countless training
を俺が
dummies.
証言する
木人島だっ
Aren't
て
exactly
簡
easy to
単に切り
break.
倒せるものじゃないよ
Of course, March. I'm sure they actually are, though, if they're training Shinjo Lafu warriors.
Hero story needs a villain. March 7's nemesis, Scott.
Scott is everyone's nemesis. It's crazy. I still find it insane that there's playable Scott for the for the Fate event. For its gift, IBC Eco Ship suit him better. Why? Knack for talking like animals. All the times we humiliated him. Yep, Scott laying down.
Epic move, Star Shatter, Shard Supreme.
Actually master that move.
Naming moves doesn't cost anything.
It's really great that we're getting March's perspective in a different way for her previous travels and journeys.
Some space left. Nice photo.
Floor's yours. Master Dono.
Clearly Donhung's brother.
March has some hidden powers there too. Oh man, remembering their dialogue of like, huh, you look very similar. That statue looks so similar to you, Donhung. March has some hidden powers there too. Yeah, I feel like I can't get into my Donhung voice right now. Throat's too rough. But let's see if we do this. No, okay, right. It's you need to click there. Yeah. Oh, the breaking a rebel against fate. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry. Evernight. Oops, daisy. Bellbog notes. The wanted posters, amazing. I am so happy that in Donhung's what was it, the intro or anecdote, that they brought those back with the Chimera wanted posters mirroring these ones. They're so good. I really want to know who at the who at Hoyo drew these, both these and the really artistic ones. In game, of course, we know it's Japard and shit, Pella. There we go. Japard and Pella who drew them, but just so amazing. Looks like me trying to draw.
The three of us.
On average, wanted poster for every 3 planets.
My hidden powers back then. Draw me this ugly.
No, you have your charm, March. It's adorable. It's silly.
Hide and seek with Hook. Quite the hidden talent.
Oh right, one of the kids could transform, like take on the appearance of other people, pretend to be an adult. Both players and secret experts who can last longer without food. Right, wasn't there a prompt where you could like wait there for days as one of your, I think it was one of the dailies or something similar.
Overworld and Underworld were connected. I too took the first cable car. So hard that day. Butt was killing me.
Just keep standing.
Call that sitting.
Because it's fun. March, you hang on to the top. You go, ooh, and you try to keep your balance. Or one of the bars, of course.
Sake of walking smoothly, seal away the truth. Our memories in a box.
I still disagree with that decision. I'm like, I feel like this is just repeating mistakes of the past. You're just covering things up that will eventually come out. And what happens when they do? It's better to be honest and clear up everything here and now and move forward together.
That day was delicious.
Mm-hmm. The picture of us. All chilly during Bronia's speech. Jim Roger, bread soda. That's Jim Roger, bread soda. Again, just feel like I can't get into my Donhung voice tonight.
March 7th's themed blue and pink color in there.
Oh, sorry. March 7th themed blue and pink color in there. That's just food coloring.
You too, don't ruin the nostalgic mood.
She's like, stop ruining the illusion.
You're yellow again. for the Soul One Festival. Some pretty clothes.
Yeah, the free outfit for preservation
美月は
mark.
自分のことをお姫様だと
Look
思っ
like
て
a
いたのか
princess.
俺も
Have
新
you
しい服
seen
を着たい
yourself all this
それ
time?
で魔王になる
Change my clothes and become a devil too. Trailblazer being unhinged as usual.
表現グマちゃん
Little ice
白くて
bear.
可愛い表現グマちゃんお友達
How
はで
many
きたかな
friends yet?
Oh,
ピ
hit
ノ
that.
コに
Oh, shit.
あの日
Fuck.
うちらに向かって拳を振り上げてたバカブツ
We'll skip back to the one we were on. There we go.
表現グマちゃん
ピノコニーで見かけたような気がす
Saw it
る
in Penacony.
宇宙のイン
Turned
フルエンサ
universal
ーとして
social media
育
star.
ててみないか
That
その
niche
分野
is
はもう
already
プーマンで
dominated
溢
by
れているぞ
trotters. There we go. That's a little bit better of a Don Hung voice. Don Hung of a better voice.
あの日うちらに向かって拳を振り上げてた
Big
バ
guy
カブ
once
ツは
raised his
今
fists.
ゼロブルグ
Hope
復
for
興の希望
Bellabog.
になってる
Mm-hmm. Building
幼
more
お
of
じちゃん
them.
が泣いて羨ましがってたぞ
Practically
すごく残
drooling.
念だよね
Yep, he is a big fan of
あの場にいなか
mechs.
ったなんて
Other hot though.
それはどうだろうな
Too bad he wasn't there.
Not necessarily.
次にヤリーロに行くときは
Next time we
もう
visit,
海の惑星になってた
turn
り
it
して
into an ocean planet.
じゃあ
Evolved ice
表現
melts.
グマは海岸
Polar
グマにな
bears.
っちゃうのか
Renamed water bears.
データによると
Environment
ヤ
is
リーロの環境は
slowly
少しずつ
recovering.
回復しているようだ
The ice shouldn't melt
とはい
too
え
quickly.
あの氷はそう簡単になくならないだろう
Remove those floaties
そ
from
ろ
the
そろ
shopping
買い物
cart.
カゴにある浮き輪を削除する
Got
か
our hopes up. I wonder what Don Hung's will be, since here we're getting March's memories of our journeys, anecdotes of them. And then the finale from March for Evernight. Express notes.
うちってこの氷の中に
It's
封印
frozen
さ
in
れて
this ice
宇
block.
宙を漂ってたんだよね
Six-phased
一
ice.
種の銀河万有と
One
言
way
え
to
るか
go
もし
on a
れないな
cosmic hitchhike.
じゃあ車掌さんがブレーキをかけてなかったらうちが列車の車両に穴を開けてたかもしれないってこと
くだらない妄想は
Stop being dramatic.
何はともあれ
Express was the one that actively scooped you up.
6層氷が溶けた後
Some six-phased ice left. Use it to make a little model.
Oh,
幼おじちゃんが言うにはこういうのをフィギュアって言うんだ
Called a figure. Made me watch anime with him all night.
that sounds amazing. I want to watch anime with
ベルト
Welt
さん
all
流の
night.
最高のもてなしだ
The highest
Oremo
honor
figure
they can
が欲しい。
bestow. I want a figurine too. No, I want to watch anime with Welt. That would be so enjoyable. I wonder if he would talk during it, critiquing and chatting about it, or if he's a silent watcher.
列車組は
Just
いつも朝
taking
ご
it
はんを
in.
一緒に食べるんだけど
Has
毎回
breakfast
時間通り
together.
ってわけじゃないんだよね
Not always on time.
だってまだ
I'm
眠いん
still
だもん
sleepy.
今度は
Get
早
up
く起きられ
early
るよ
and
う
set
に
an alarm.
アラームをセットした方
Get
がい
up
い
right as soon as
アラーム通りに起きられ
the
るなんて
alarm
怖
goes off
す
are
ぎる
terrifying.
ちゃん
True.
と起きれる人って何でもできちゃうって感
Person
じ
is
がす
capable
る
of anything.
I only get up for an alarm if it's like very, very serious to me. If it's not, then I'm like, 30 more minutes, or I'll chill and like lay in bed doing other stuff, doing dailies for starrail on my phone or something, hanging
車
out
掌
with
さんの
cats.
着せ替えするのすっごく楽しいんだ
Oh, guys facing each other. I should get a picture of them. Hold on. You big babies. I know. Want to see pictures of how cute they're being. Them getting along. I'll get a picture of them later from above as well. Cuties.
Full of pom-pom photos.
パムは以前
Yeah,
タートル
the
ネッ
new
クの制
outfits for
服を
Pom
着て
Pom.
いたんだが美月が来てからは
Used to
あま
have
り
a
着なくなった
turtleneck uniform. Rarely wear it after March came. Aww. No, should wear more outfits.
自分の部屋は大のお気
That
に
reminds
入
me, I
り
need to put Pom Pom in the nightwear. I think currently Pom Pom's still in the chef's outfit.
Love my room so much.
あの
Tidy
フ
it
ォ
up.
トウォールは今思えば
That
記
photo
憶の
wall
力だっ
must
た
be the power of memories.
前から気になってた
Mini
んだけど
desk. Where's the
クローゼッ
wardrobe?
トはどこにあるんだ
Take a guess.
当ててみて
Is it behind the photos? Where'd you hide it?
Remember, Taikian, most trailblazy of trailblazers, that grand debut, quite a few credits.
Is that the one where they smashed into a stadium and had to repair it?
一体何があったんだ？
その辺に転がってたボールをなんとなく矢で射てみたの。
そのボールが
What
上に
exactly
跳ね上がっ
happened?
て会場の
It's
天
a
井を
ball
突き
by
破
the
ったんだ
road.
それでなんと100点も取れちゃった。
And then, bam, it flew right into the ceiling, through the venue.
And scored 100 points too.
Strong march. No, you silly cats.
これからもうちら3人で
We'll travel
ずっと
together
ずっと
forever
一緒
and
に
ever.
旅を続けようね。
That line
ど
sounds
こかで
familiar.
見たことあるような。
思い出でできた過去が
Cyrene.
少しずつ積み重なって
Memories weave the past,
そうやってで
stretch
きた道
long
に
behind
は
me,
長
like
く伸びた
shadows.
うちの影がある。
What stories will the future
こ
may
れか
create?
らどんな物語を紡いで
And
い
in
けるんだろう。
Evernight's outfit there. That's a beautiful photo. Looking over the pier, the docks. Complete. Man, that's so cool. I always accidentally back out that interface. If you've checked out my previous as I've written streams, you'll have seen me do it probably dozens of times by this point. But we're down to the last three for Dan Heng. God of the Suffering Abyss.
100年に及ぶ黄金戦争がまた
Another
始まった。
century. Chrysos War.
鉄サビと悲鳴と命ある
This is,
者
I
の
wonder if
血
this is also being
が
voiced.
大地に染み
Dawn.
込み
I
衰え
don't
ゆく
think so. I
巨
think
竜の
it's
血肉に流
Trailblazer,
れ
but
込む。
as with the other ones, Trailblazer doing it. Rust wills the blood. Giant dragons decaying bones
震
and
える岩
flesh.
盤は巨竜の瞳。
Bedrock is the giant
それは
dragon's
大地
eyes.
獣が労役に駆り出
Promises
され
reduced to laborers and
食料
food.
となり
Mythical beasts.
奇獣が
Weapons
戦
of
争の
war.
道具になる様を見つめていた。戦火が同族を滅ぼ
War
しても
flames extinguish all their
巨竜には
sins.
なすすべもなかった。
Giant dragon is powerless.
ただ憤怒を抱えて沈黙し
Memories filled with guilt.
罪悪感を抱えて追憶にふける。
Terox is
なぜなら
POV
大地の
throughout the
試練と
ages.
は
Earth's
地上
trial.
に生きる生命がもたらす苦痛に耐え
Every
ること
living
だか
being.
ら。
Yeah, Dawn
週
taking on
末が訪れる頃には
2.8 million creatures.
巨竜の意識は脈絡を失
Edge
い
of Doomsday.
鱗も無残に
Dragon's
砕
world
け
is
散ってい
shattered.
た。
Scales broken.
その時巨竜を迎えた
Not
の
a
は
flower covered
花の
Aranova.
咲き誇る再創
Long
生では
black,
なく
long fallen black
落ち
sword.
て久しい一振りの
Flame
黒い
Reaver.
剣だった。
Finon. Kaslana.
互いに城の
Yeah,
中ではある
looking down on him.
Our strangers surrender
Oh, well, this would be. Yeah, Flame Reaver not too. Please surrender the core flame for the dawn. Just the broken Finon voice.
黎明だと
Dawn. Puppet of destruction.
この壊滅の傀儡が求める
Waits
もの
at
が
the end.
黎明だというのなら日酔いの果てに待つのは一体ど
Fully
んな
threw
光
himself
景
into
な
it.
のだろ
Man,
うか。
those banners for 3.7 look insane.
暗黒の潮に耐え
I
た
think I'm
苦
gonna be
難
broke, chat.
同胞の犠
Tormented
牲は
by
理不尽な
time,
運命か
sacrifice of their kin,
それとも
undeserved destiny,
虚しく響く
futile lament.
嘆きでしかない。
Lament!
won't
荒れ狂う波のように
accept this.
看板が歪み
Ah, hey
水のよ
Julian.
うに
How
折
you
り重
doing?
なる。
Hope you're having a great
し
day.
かし剣士は恐れるどころ
We're
か
gonna be wrapping
深い
up
ため
in the
息
next
をつ
like
くばかりだった。
probably 10-15 minutes.
まるで慣れ
We're
てし
on
まっていると
Don
言
Hong's
わんばかり。
Terrorvox's Chrysos Air pages, and as I've written. Like a roaring tide, Swordmaster shows no fear. Among customs such
侵食
sights.
された関
Yeah, the
節
kitty
が
cats are chilling
次
back there.
々と打ち砕かれ
I told
切り割れ
Sparkle
た皮が
earlier,
剥がれ落ち
it's rare for
黄
them
金の血
to
が
be up
滴
there
り
hanging
落
out
ち
together. So I'm not going to be broke because I'm saving up for 3.8. Ooh, Constance. Right, the Dahlia. Yeah, it's so cool to see Everflame Mansion again after all this time. I really hope we see the other three, because, well, we know out of all of them, Duke Inferno was definitely killed, but the rest were just scattered. But yeah. No, I have a friend as well who's saving for Constance. And it's like, I don't blame you. She looks really cool. The rusted joints are shattered one by one. Cracked husk peels away.
オンパロスを襲った地震は3日未満
Earthquake
続いた。
goes and furious. 3 days and nights.
目を
It's
閉
very
じまい
biblical.
と抗った時、
3.
巨竜は
The
ふ
symbolism
と
in
悟
there.
った。
Might see if Rappa gets a rerun. Oh man, Rappa's so much fun. I still use her where I can, if she matches up with the content well. Definitely like pure fiction is always great, but sometimes MOC and AP are also good for her. Yeah, Rappa's really fun. Again, I think this thing that really sold me on her was not only the story we went through with her, but her first person ultimate. I'm just like, that's so unique. That's so cool. I love that they did that. And Ghost and Furious. Yep. Giant dragon
火を追う旅と
self-realizes.
は己を哀れむ日が
Self-pity.
火種を求めることであり、
Calamity.
それこそ災いの種に過ぎないのだと。
Yeah, well, I definitely hope you get Constance then, in 3.8. Or if you're going for Rappa, if she gets reran.
しかし大地
Yeah,
の
and
行く
Topaz is
末
being
は
added to
何
the
も
shop. Honestly, I was kind of hoping it would be Sparkle, considering we have Archer. Got Archer for free. I'm like, dang it, I really want Sparkle. Using her for the 3.6 boss fight. It was fun. Nice. Yeah. I think for... Let's see. I'm trying to remember who I used on that boss fight. I know when we first faced down Lygus, I used Saber. And she was a bit too strong for story Lygus. But yeah, Rappa, as long as you have Fugue is very good with her and enables her in basically any AoE content. E1 Topaz, I'm not gonna pick her. Fair enough, I have E1 Ron May, so I've been holding on to my first one since I got it. Since I'm like, I don't really want Locha right now. And I wanted to save to see who would come next. I might go for E0 Topaz, but we'll just have to see what I'm feeling in the end.
あの特別な輪廻において
Undimmed by the shadow of the dark
烈
blade.
日は壊滅を燃や
Special
し
recurrence.
消えていった
Blazing sun
大
extinguishes
地に
itself.
沈んだばかりのあの時巨竜
Giant
は
dragon sinks
まだ
into the
裏
earth.
切りの痛みをかみしめていた
Evernight.
そこへ長与の足音が聞こえてきた
Offering a deal.
助けがいるの。最後まで歳月を見守り続けてくれる人が。
Watch over time.
長与が袖を振り
Evernight
記
waves
憶
her
の塩で
sleeve.
巨竜を洗い清める巨竜はこうして
Sees the
大
past
地の
and
過去と
present.
今をその目にし
Starry sky forever out
星
of
空と
reach.
は手の届かない遥か遠いものだと知った
Yeah, I'm really curious as far as banners go for the future. Which planet will be to next? We still have a few
アラブエ
options.
は自らが運絡したと偽る
That's also why I should partially
記
save
憶の
up
塩に
for
その存
4.x.
在を隠して
Topaz is
い
still pretty good to look for
大
chests.
地の火
Use it
種
with
で
Fei Xiao.
箱
Yeah.
舟を作った
Yeah, I mean, I still use Fei Xiao in endgame content, and she's very fun. I know a few patches ago I used her to clear MOC, and someone came in like, wait, what? That's crazy. Like, you actually managed to get her to work on that side? I'm like, it was close, but just barely, yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely consider Topaz for my follow-up teams. Having fun with her there. Eternal recurrence. Tirvox feigns their fall. Dilute their existence.
1000年にもわた
Forging
る
an arc.
戦の中で黄金の血を持つ英雄たちは悲壮な死を遂げた
Remains deaf to
だ
their
が巨竜
plight.
はそれを知らない
Silently
ふりを
gathering
して
exiled kin.
ただ黙々とさすらう同胞を集め続けた長与との取引は簡単な
Pact
もの
with
だった
Evernight is simple.
歳月は大地の苦しみを消し仲間に囲まれながら深く眠れる
Yeah,
よう
I
に
think
す
with the
る
free shop, it kind of seems like they might be doing it like roughly every 6 months. So if they update it again, it will probably be anniversary patch. So I'll probably save both of my free characters. Until then, see who they add in Anniversary, and then make a decision. If they add someone I like, or someone I want Eidolons on, go for them. If not, I'll grab Topaz, and then keep saving. Might pull for Constance, have enough pulls. Rappa does get rerun. Pull in E1, then Light Cone. Maybe E4. Dang! Going for a lot there. Yeah, I have Rappa plus her Light Cone, and that seems to be enough usually, but, you know, Eidolons are always great for convenience and future-proofing the characters. Yeah, you never know when you get lucky. That's what's happened in the past with Eidolons for me. I just do like random 10 pulls, get an Eidolon, and I'm like, well, why not? Put it on the character then, sure. And I definitely think it has helped out come in clutch at a few moments. For my Ruanmei and Robin specifically. Earth shall become Time's ally. Keep watch to the end of the world. Hope they don't add Sparkle. She'll never get a rerun, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Yeah. I just want Sparkle selfishly because I'm like, man, I've always wanted her, but I skipped her the very first time because Acheron was coming out very soon, and I was like, I gotta get Acheron. And then I just never really got the chance to pull for her again. There was just never a good time. But yeah, and I mean, we're seeing with 3.7, they're willing to do, you know, 6 reruns in a patch sometimes. So could definitely see more of Sparkle with those sort of banners where they have 3 at a time, you know, first half, second half. With breaking rebel against fate. Yeah, so Terrorbox's experience, his suffering, and how he ends up in the position to accept Don Hung's offer in pursuing the permanence. Scorn the giant dragon. Refuse to crush any foe beneath their feet. Foolish earth beast. He just wants to stay in peace. Chill. Hang out. Several days. Bids farewell.
Belongs only to the children of humanity.
Our benevolent beast. No intention of keeping you captive.
Thanks, Deirdre.
Decree to protect innocent lives. Lend a hand. In the future.
Terrorbox's sacrifice. His mountain-dwelling friend not being so happy about that. Losses are a constant. Their creator's command. Territory's capital. Show their small beasts. Hunted by city-states hungry for meat. Can escape, people needing, people getting desperate. Arrows poured down, able to pierce. Creatures on their back to wail and fall. Mighty force of reinforcements brings this tragedy to an end. Raise the shield wall, march forth and crush that city-state. Deirdre backing them up? Yeah, not the mountain dwellers.
Who are you?
Leading knight answered. The offshoot, the rebel, the one who burned the mountains. Geocles, his friend. So their first meeting. I could get E1 Ronmei or E4 Clara. E1 Ronmei, my Rappa better. Clara man trying to get E6. Yeah, I would say overall, I've had E1 Ronmei for a while. It's a good general one. You know, I could go for E2, but that's a little bit less general because it's attack percent. But yeah, E1, I would recommend it for Rappa or just any team you're putting her on. I think it's quite good. But if you do really love Clara, then can't stop you from grabbing her Eidolon. And I don't blame you either. I'll have to check. I think mine is E2 Clara with her signature. I think I used her a while ago to clear MOC in like a double like counter or follow-up team. I think I experimented with like Clara and Blade in the same team. Because I was just running something silly at the time. The world knows protecting all of Earth's creations. Created the Dromus Legion.
そして世に知られる通り、竜騎士
The
団
world
は
also knows
無敵だ。
ever victorious
山を開いた者が乗る巨竜は
under the mountain breaker.
沈黙を貫き、
Unstoppable.
すべてを打ち砕いた。
Yeah, it's really cool to see their friendship come to life and develop. Turns does not
山
hope
を
of
開い
survival.
た者は親友を常々そう表
He's
し
like,
た。
hey, you gotta invest your stats in something
巨
else.
竜はそれに
So
低
you know.
いうなり声で答えるばかりだった。
All in endurance, which would be stamina in something like Dark Souls.
やがて火を追う
Soon
軍
after,
の矢尻は大地に向けられた。それを
From
聞い
chasing
た
our
竜騎士団
return to
は
Earth,
創造主を守
set
るため
forth in full force,
全軍を率いた
protected
旅だ
their
った。
creator. I can't solo MOC with her now. Back then I could solo her now. I just use her in story. Understandable. Yeah, MOC has changed drastically. Like old MOC, yeah, I remember the videos of people using solo Clara because she could just heal back everything. It was really, really cool to see. But HP and damage numbers and everything, they have to go up because every character getting stronger and stronger, including old characters, which, you know, getting buffs or even just, hey, you have a crazy build on them now. And standard characters, of course, getting Eidolons
新
on
聞
them
の前夜、
over
巨
time.
竜は密書を受け取っていた。
Eve of the March. Secret
お前
message.
が火を追う旅でなすべき
One
こ
and
とは
only
ただ一
flinches.
つ。
Slay your creator.
主を殺し、
Fight to survive.
そして生き延
Okay,
びることだ
Zero.。
戦いは崖の淵で繰り広げられ
Yeah, I always try to mix up my story teams to be a little bit relevant to it. And have
と資料は語る。
Trailblazer in there.
山を
Almost
開い
lost
た
the new
者は
MOC12.
鎧を脱ぎ捨て
Only one in 19
崖か
cycles.
ら身を投げた。
Ooh, yeah. No, this one was very close for me as well. The difference for me was two things. It was Don Hung, Permancer Terre. I upgraded him and put him first half to replace Gallagher as my healer on that team. And then second half, I upgraded Castris just the tiniest bit with like a slightly better relic, like a few percent better. And I was like, okay, that was enough. But just barely, like I said. Same thing with was it Apocalyptic Shadow? Yes, it was with Apocalyptic Shadow. That upgrade also really helped out Castris' side. I'm trying to get her just a little bit better because all my pieces are like pretty good, but I know they could be better. The grind continues for relics, for artifacts. Can't type lol. No, you're all good, Julian. Battle of the Abyss, broken after Terravox's betrayer.
大地は裏切りの記憶を岩に刻み
Shed his
込み続
armor,
けた。
fell from the cliffs.
長代が
Memories of betrayal into its strata. Evernight would leaf through them.
歳月
Right, and gave him a
が
second chance, brought him
大
back.
地の苦しみを消し去ってある。
Wash away that pain of betrayal.
巨竜は記
It's
憶
a
の
memory
精霊
sprite.
となった。
Mm-hmm.
かの偉
Reunites.
大なる山を開いた者と再会した。彼は巨竜にこうつぶやい
That
た。
couldn't have been your choice.
Oh no, doing a deep voice doesn't necessarily coincide with a whisper. Because a whisper, you don't activate your vocal cords at all. You just go,
Hi, hello. How are you guys doing today? A little bit of ASMR.
going like that. That's a whisper, a true
巨
whisper.
竜は低いうなり声で答えるだけだった。
Casters could be better. She misses like 3 crits with 83% crit rate, lol. Got bad RNG. I understand that perfectly. that's when, yeah, I build a character to have like over 90% crit rate and then they miss. And I'm like, game, please. That's honestly for a while. I sometimes wouldn't care about my crit rate as much, and I'd be like, are you at least at 50%? Whatever. Max out crit damage. If I get lucky, I get lucky. Let's roll. Let's gamble. Just because, yeah, unless you have 100% crit rate, it never feels like enough. Combat Dwell in the Abyss. Zero Dragon.
One of our kind.
Lifts his eyelids. Dragon's body bears a sworn duty of protection. One resolute determination. The purpose. Yeah, his desire for it. Couldn't let him do that. Trying to build new Danhong. Game was like, here, take this defense, no attack for you. Yeah, my issue was the gloves. Everything else was pretty good on my Danhong, but my gloves were terrible. Just refusing to give me attack percent or speed. Like, I have a... It's like, I have a pair on him that would be good on another character, but on Danhong, it's just like, it's okay. It's cope. So I need to check my relics again and see if I got a new pair in the past week of leveling, or, you know, grinding, farming out that set. Which they have double drops going on, so I'm trying to take advantage of that to farm the new set and the wind set. And I know in 3.7 they're also giving us completely stamina free relics, so I'm going to try using that to get some good wind sets, since that's used on so many characters. But yeah, the new Danhong, Danhong Permansor Terre, is very fun. I really do like how flexible he feels to place on a lot of my attack teams. I've even used him on some of the break teams with Rappa, because he gives attack percent, and that buffs up her damage. It's really fun. Or Sparkle, or not Sparkle, Firefly as well. Sam, her teams. Heal the divine form. Permits can guide the life. Edge of the world. Comrade silhouette fade away. Shakes its head and sighs. He's like, come on, buddy. Don't do this.
It was not a panacea, rather a bridge.
Part of my Danhong with 15% defense. Sad, just using it because it's still got 3.4% attack. Yeah. The worst pieces are those ones that have potential and then just roll into like a completely useless stat for your character. And you're like, I don't wanna reroll because I'll just get unlucky again. That's just what you feel like. So yeah, I understand. Eternal will of survival. The vast starry night sky. So this sounds the permanence truly mean. Yeah, we got that. Okay. Yeah, I accidentally clicked the review on it. Entrusted by Terravox, surge within my chest. Eternally burning furnace. So that was probably finding the Maho, communicate with them in my heart. What did they say? Are now inseparable from me. From the very beginning, a branch of my own bloodline. March inseparable. Told everyone a heated discussion broke out.
A little chimera snuggled up in our arms.
Imagination ran wild. Yeah, sounds like March.
俺は
Become
奇
a
獣でも
baby
何でもいい
Magical beast would be
ずっ
fine
と見てみ
too.
たいと思っていた
See
んだ
that species?
姫子さんとベルトさんが美月の妄想を
Reassuring
やんわ
words
り止
from
めてくれている
Himiko. Mr. Yang. Everyone
ど
playing
んな
along
見た目
to
になっても
March.
炭鉱は炭鉱だ。
こいつが珍しく
Trailblazer.
首相なことを言
What
っ
he
ている
becomes, Danhong, will always be Danhong. Words are unusually poetic.
ただもし第一獣になったら
Got really lucky with Archer.
俺に
90%
餌やりを
crit
させてく
rate.
れ。
That light cone. 140% crit damage. We're about getting more. 10% more. Got Sparkle light cone. Nice! Yeah. I know, Archer was definitely one of those characters where everyone had the meme of, do you have 100% crit rate yet? If you don't, you know, get it to 100. I know mine's not at 90. I think maybe in a full team, I get maybe like absolute max 95. But yeah, that sounds like a great build. He's super fun to play. I really love his satisfying build up of getting all those skill points and then dumping into big damage. They did that recently with the Try Not to Laugh challenge event, which that was just so entertaining, seeing the damage numbers there. The like tens of millions or whatever it would add up to. Come and Dromis. Let me feed you red soil. Getting him to eat it after we have. Don't you even think about it. Wearing the glasses though. Looking cool, Danhong.
時々こんな夢を
I have dreams like this.
幾千万の生き
Beings
物
flee
が
alongside me.
俺と共に逃げ惑っている
Black floods blot out the sky.
後ろを振り返れば
Devour
黒
all
い洪
signs
水
of
が
life.
空と太陽を覆っているまるで全ての命を飲み込もうとしているかのよう
You guys. They're being so sweet back there. I'll have to take
生
more
き物た
pictures
ち
of
は
them
竜の形をした橋にな
from
る
some different angles.
俺は彼らを星空へと導いていく
Our darkest hour. Living beings form a bridge of dragons. Lead them limping towards the starry sky. The stone dragons we've seen in the animations
そ
and the
の
art.
長大な行列の最後尾で一頭の
End of
巨
the
竜が
vast
歩みを
procession.
止め
A lone giant dragon comes to a halt, watching us depart.
The children of the earth will always find their own path. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely can't do the Terrorbox voice I want to do right now. Throat's too cooked. Really
目が覚めた
rumbly.
時何か心に響くものがあった
Something stirs within me.
普及の継承が意味することは
Legacy of the
肉
permanence,
体の再生でも
not in recreating
血脈の
flesh,
融合でもないの
nor
かもしれ
merging
ない
of bloodlines. But
ある日アーカイブを読んでいて宇
browsing
宙の
through the
生物に
databank,
関するデータに更新がある
universe's
ことに
animal
気づいた
species,
大海に覆われた星で
ocean-covered
ぶつかり
planet,
合うのが大好きなアザラシが生まれた
penchant for
シミ
bumping,
の痩せた荒れ地では
like the Euphoria
赤を
seals.
好む
That
獣
event,
が
I still
進
need
化
to do
を遂げ
those
たと
PvP events off stream. Oopsie. Barren desert wasteland, herd of red soil craving beasts,
ど
the
こかで見た
Dromis,
ような姿が
familiar
銀河の生
silhouettes,
態系で
not
活
my
発に
own
活動してい
Euphorian
る
friends.
だがどれも
That makes me
オーパロスで知
wonder
った存
if
在とは
Lygus just
違う
took info from the universe and incorporated it into Euphorius's equations.
これが彼らにとっての神聖で
The rebirth,
命が存続する道だったのだろう
or the opposite. They cease to exist in one way, then come to exist eventually in the universe in another. Death and rebirth. Like the Vidyardhara people.
俺がアラブへの望んだ
It's three characters I refuse to
命
pull.
を支える架け橋と
Uh-oh.
なれたと
Do
い
you
う
have a grudge against them for some reason?
山の民が
Julian?
敷いた陣を踏み砕き
As
ジョーリア
Terrorbox
の胸を引
wished,
き裂いて火種を飲み込んだアラブへはその火種
shattered the
を
battle
俺
formation,
に託した
tore open Giorios's
創造
chest.
物はいずれ創造主を裏切る
Creation
運
betrayed
命
its
の始ま
creator.
りが見届けたのと同じようにか弱い命が
Fear, feeling, fear, beings
にあ
betrayed the dark tides,
木に登りついに
finally
は故郷
betraying
を
their
離れ
home, gazing upon the stars. Not exactly their fault. They're like, we need to get out of here. Robin, Finon, and Axa. I'm so curious about that, because I have Robin, E1 Robin, getting Robin and E1. I think I got Robin from a 50-50, and then her E1 was like early luck. Finon, I lost my 50-50 on. And then Axa I have not gone for yet, though I have a friend who's probably going to go for to use with Sayerdra. Yeah. Is it just like unlucky polls they're placed in the story? Their kits? Something like that. I mean, a variety of reasons, so no judgment. There's plenty of characters I save through just because I'm like, do I really want them right now? Like Cypher, I would love to get Cypher in the future, but I very much would need to get lucky to get Cypher. With all the other characters, I'm like, man, but I kind of want you a little bit more. But I love Cypher because of her connection to Pardo fellas from Impact 3rd, Elysian Realm. Furnace in my chest still pulses. The gaps between the heated torrents. Find myself in a daze. That colossal figure. The Aeon, catching a glimpse. Named the Permanence. So he also received an Aeon's gaze. Which again, that's very rare. Don't see that often. You know, usually with the Trailblazer, and then with a few very special characters in the story. Finon being one, Donhong another. But that will wrap up going over as I've written, or as it will be in 3.7 as we've written, the new tale, the new end, or a new beginning for Emporius. Hopefully a happy one. But yeah, thanks so much for coming on by. I hate an axe of guts. Don't like Finon gameplay. Wish you could turn off Robin's song. yes, that is the one big downside to Robin. Honestly, I don't hear it too often, just because I play Starrail on my phone or on the computer with like the headphones off. But I can understand why hearing that song over and over again can be too much. Anaxa, I have a fondness for him, again, because connection to Impact 3rd, Sue, that sort of stuff. Finon, I think he has really interesting, different gameplay, and again, the connections. Ultimately, it all comes back to Impact 3rd, is part of why I want these characters, but yeah. Only way to turn off the game music. Yeah, and obviously you're like, I want to hear the boss music, I want to hear the cool music going on, but then, Robin, welcome to my world, just singing in your ear, and you're like, no, Robin, no. Yeah, no, I get you, Julian. But like I was saying, I think we'll end off there. You know, I need to go to the bathroom. The stream has been a bit longer than I anticipated as well, and I should go to bed soon. Actually, get to bed before 4 a.m., unlike the past 2 nights with Genshin. But thank you, Julian, so much for coming on by and chatting, talking about different characters, different builds, our likes and dislikes. That was really fun. I hope and wish you well on your constants or Rapapulls in 3.8, depending on how that turns out. And I hope you have a great day. But yeah, really interesting to go back over a bunch of info and get some brand new stuff here. I really do like the mailbox.exe, the stories of the recurrences we didn't see, and how that changed things up. The what ifs, the things being switched around. It was extremely entertaining. But I hope you guys all enjoyed. Feel free to leave your thoughts down below about anything we read through tonight. Like I said, the what ifs from the mailbox, more of the info from the admin stuff here, all this crazy stuff going on with Iron Tomb, or from our Chrysos Air's friends, with Sayerdra, Evernight, Donhong, and Isolance, Electra. Or, well, March. March is the memories in POV for Evernights. But, yeah, thank you so much as always for coming on by. If you enjoyed, feel free to subscribe and watch what you want to watch. Hope you guys all have a great day, night, whatever time it is for you. I love you all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye. See ya. Aw. You guys are so adorable. Yes, I'm going to take more pictures of them. Of course I am. Can never have too many pictures of the cats. And Jack snoring. That's how you know he's in a deep, deep sleep, buddy. Silly boy. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sparkle and Julian, for hopping in the chat. Hanging out with me. It's always great to have you guys on by to talk with. Love you guys very much. Oh, hold on. Forgot. There we go. Yeah. Now I take some pictures. You guys are such silly cats. Yeah, got some more pictures of them. They're adorable. Love you guys. Bye-bye for real.